a sermon with wine and feet pics.
And Snoop Dogg.
Well, hello everyone. We are here with Dan and Danielle and Emmett and of course the omnipresent Trish. And we are going to talk about the miracle at Cana, one of Jesus' first miracles from the Gospel of John.
A reading from John chapter 2. On the third day, there was a wedding in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Jesus and his disciples had also been invited to the wedding. When the wine gave out, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." And Jesus said to her, "Woman, what concern is that to you and to me? My hour has not yet come." His mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Now standing there were 6 stone water jars for the Jewish rites of purification, each holding 20 or 30 gallons. Jesus said to them, "Fill the jars with water," and they filled them up to the brim. He said to them, "Now draw some out and take it to the chief steward." So they took it. When the steward tasted the water that had become wine, and did not know where it came from, though the servants who had drawn the water knew, the steward called the bridegroom and said to him, "Everyone serves the good wine first, and then the inferior wine after the guests have become drunk. But you have kept the good wine until now." Jesus did this, the first of his signs in Cana of Galilee, and revealed his glory, and his disciples believed in him. The Gospel of our Lord.
We got some wine since he turned water into wine. We're going to sample different wines. We're going to talk about the gospel. I don't know how it's going to go, but we're starting out with one called Quail Oak. These may stink. Sorry, Quail Oak people. Here you go, Dan.
It's probably amazing. Welcome to Wine Review.
That's right. We have
Sommeliers.
the miracle. Perhaps we cheers.
Clink it. Clink, clink, clink.
Yeah, this tastes very much like my mom's wine.
Huh. Is
This
that a good thing or a bad thing?
No, she was not a wine connoisseur.
$2 check.
But it's not
It's
bad.
very middle of the road.
Yeah, it's very,
just,
very
this
middle of the
This is a
road.
good place to start. It
Yeah.
is right there. This might have been the wine they had, before Jesus performed the miracle, right?
The thing that's always stood out to me reading this, when there was a problem, Jesus' mom, the first thing she did was just ask him and do whatever he says and don't worry about it. Like, that's just a really interesting... Oh, more water?
That's not
Yeah.
water, bud.
Yummy water.
And we could do it the other way, turn the wine into water, and then Emmett would be all right.
It's not for you, bud. Sorry.
Yeah.
No,
Whatever
interesting.
he
It was
said.
just interesting that his mom had that initial reaction.
I hate it when people say, be like people in the Bible, because we kind of can't. They're from a completely different culture and time. I think that there's some argument there that this is a faithful response to, we've got an issue, okay, wait, let's stop, let's listen, let's take some time to consider and do whatever it is that something more than us, or in this case, Jesus.
I mean, I do appreciate the part where it's like, drink the good wine first, then the inferior wine after the guests have begun drunk. Like, that's the efficient way to do it. Drink the nice stuff first,
Yeah,
Yes.
and then, like, the Bud Light
Yeah.
when it's gone too far.
it's way.
Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but the implication is also that they've been drinking for a long time. Jesus was like, yeah, more wine, why not? Like, this is fun. Like, we're having a good time. Like,
Well, speaking of more wine, should we pour another? I know you haven't finished it, but
Chug it.
Exactly.
Down,
we gotta
down.
get through this video.
Chug, 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 chug.
Speaking of more wine, our second one is a red Cabernet Sauvignon by Barefoot.
Cheers.
Oh, that's different. It's like a combination of grapes.
Face.
It's a combination of grapes and leather shoe.
Giving me leather
It's
shoe.
been aged
could
in
smell it.
aged
Yeah.
in sneakers.
Leather shoe?
Yeah.
I can't disagree with that now.
It's like they poured a wine into a leather shoe, let it marinate for a
So
while.
what do they call that when you pour alcohol in a shoe and you drink it from the shoe?
I
Barefoot
don't
wine?
know.
The barefoot.
Yeah, barefoot. Ironic from barefoot.
I'm
Yes.
so sorry if
However-
the bear.
Well, the foot's bare because the shoe's holding the water.
Yeah. A lot of people think, well, wine bad or alcohol bad. Well, not necessarily. It can be. If we were struggling with alcoholism or something else like that, well, obviously we wouldn't be doing this. Wine in itself is neither good nor bad. In fact, it was part of the wedding celebration. Jesus made it happen, so there's no judgment there.
Thoughts, prayers, concerns.
I have concerns about this wine.
Concerns, yes.
More drink.
More drink?
More drink, says Emmett.
Cheers, chug it.
More water.
Emmett's
More
like
water.
encouraging us in.
It's like, go, 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 go.
High five. Yeah.
All right.
wow.
So we got rid of the barefoot.
Insane.
There we
There you
go.
go.
Snoop
We chugged it.
Dogg.
Right.
Snoop Dogg.
Yes. We figured if anyone knows wine, Snoop Dogg does, right?
So you
Clearly.
you said you've had this one.
I haven't had the white one, but the
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg, the red wine.
So we have some 19 crimes.
It's pretty good.
I don't know why
It's
they're
because
not
Snoop wine.
20s.
It's probably, you could probably fill it up because it's probably going to be good.
Yeah.
Snoop knows his wine.
We might be the only church in existence to have Snoop as part of their sermon.
Cheers with us. Yay!
Yeah.
All right, Snoop.
It's good.
Yeah, that's
That's worth drinking.
Back on the how we view like wine now, or just even like alcohol in general. I was saying before, like it can be, hit or miss depending on like cultural things. The question I would have is, there's 6 stone water jars for the Jewish rites of purification. Not quite sure what that is, but Jewish rites of purification sounds pretty like we shouldn't be putting wine in these things.
Yes.
So that's not like weird.
Think of it like your washing jugs. You're definitely right. No wine in those. This was meant for cleanliness. Having the juxtaposition between cleaning and wine, all right, like it's almost like the wine is redeemed, but also the party is redeemed. If you want to get churchy and sacramental, baptism, washing, communion, wine,
Mama.
they all of a sudden come together here like boom, right at the beginning of Jesus' ministry. Here we go. There's going to be something big happening, and Jesus is coming through this wine that is in the washing basins. As a, like, this is God showing God's self in a very churchy way, in a very unexpected locale and method. Why do we view church as a completely solemn, completely sober, completely, absolutely no fun endeavor when Jesus is saying, look, this is meant to be a party. Life and grace and love are meant to be celebrated.
So do we get larger communion cups next time?
Oh!
Ironically enough, in seminary, it would be like a double shot glass, about size. And in seminary, they almost nearly filled those things. So when you got wine, you would
okay.
get
You got
wine.
We got
Yeah.
wine.
The visceral experience of that was, I think, better. You could tell you were taking the sacrament. First time Snoop Dogg shows up in the sermon
Can
in a
you
positive
say
way.
chug, chug, chug?
Church.
How many negative sermons have you had about Snoop Dogg? That's my question now.
Snoop Dogg, if you see this, I really, really like you. And I'm really sad that I didn't see you when you came to town.
Penultimate wine, Octopoda. And we got it solely because there's an octopus on the label.
Is there a better way to buy wine?
You look at the label,
Yeah.
for sure.
Judge the book by its cover.
There we go.
Yay! Clink.
Good job.
Cheers.
Ooh, that's grown up.
I don't know about that.
Well, it's not leather shoe.
It's better
It's-
than the barefoot.
It's drinkable. It's quite drinkable.
That does not
Like-
smell leather shoey. Would you
We-
drink
we-
20 or 30 gallons of it?
No.
Well, there's a good point.
6 stone jars, 20 to 30 gallons each.
Wow.
So let's say
each.
25.
So you're
let's
like-
average.
Yeah.
25 times 6
150?
is
150?
150 gallons of wine?
Oh, yeah, no, not of this.
How many people were at this party?
Exactly. Like the whole town.
I'm just visualizing like 150 gallons of milk, but just full of wine.
Okay,
Yeah.
are you trying
But
to
also
throw up?
150 gallons of milk would be disgusting.
That sounds so bad.
God is big, right? God is not going halfway.
He really knows how to throw a party.
Like when I was youth directing, the vibe was you be conservative about stuff. Like if you get kids pop, get them Shasta or Diet. And God bless you, Shasta. I like a lot of your
Shasta
stuff.
conservative pop?
But it's
I
like,
didn't
no,
realize
but,
that.
It's
but I mean conservative pricing. Like you get
Oh,
the generic.
okay.
Oh, okay, not
You know
like
what I mean?
concerned.
Got it.
Okay.
You don't get
Oh,
an
yeah.
actual Mountain Dew.
Follow.
You get mellow yellow.
Mellow
Yes.
yellow. This is not how God treats us, yeah? One of the ways in which I succeeded is in early youth directing was our church fridge was always stocked with actual Mountain Dew and Coca-Cola.
you were gonna say wine.
and Pepsi. Yeah,
I was like, oh, yeah,
yeah, no.
let's do it.
That God is giving, that God is rich and beautiful and actually wants you to enjoy things is a foreign concept to a lot of people. And it's like, it's not that you enjoy because the thing itself is good or because,
Okay.
or at the expense of other people, but rather because life is supposed to be good and it's okay sometimes to say life is beautiful. And that's the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be overflowing with good.
I don't know if you can see, but Emmett's ready for
Ready
the next
for the
wine.
next
Emmett,
wine.
Are you
wanna
gonna
be the
pour?
last one?
Yeah,
Here
you're.
we go.
Thank you.
Emmett. There you go.
It's so
He gave it to
helpful.
us. Never
We're not
had
feeding
it,
our
but-
child alcohol, I promise. Anyone watching
Yes.
this is not getting alcohol.
Good disclaimer.
So we have our last wine. It is called Dead Zed Red.
Yes.
Actually, we're
Is
death
it
and
Zed
resurrection theme, and it's slightly more alcohol than the
Hold on, I
other.
need to see the.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's
So
probably
might
what
not be the
Jesus looked like
resurrection.
3
this
days
is
coming out of the
actually by
tomb.
far-
1 shot of vodka.
2 shots of vodka.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, okay, that's good.
That's the
Actually-
best red that
That's
we've had.
actually
It's-
good. We have saved the best for last.
I enjoyed the smell.
This would make great communion wine. Trish and Danielle, you had an observation, like, share what you shared off camera.
Off camera? Oh.
Oh, dear.
Danielle, go for it.
Oh, you first, Trish.
Oh, thank you. You're so nice.
No.
We just don't feel comfortable talking about the gospel. We don't feel qualified.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm just sitting here silently drinking my wine and your water.
I don't know if it's like necessarily of like not feeling qualified, but more of a
Not understanding.
yeah. It's like coming from a place of understanding because in my mind, like sure, it's all important, but like to me, the most important part is like the life, death, and the resurrection. So I'm like that's why I'm like okay, I understand that,
Right.
and like everything else, like you just tell it to me, and I'll be like okay, yeah, cool. Water, wine, nailed it.
Nailed it.
Okay.
I am a pastor too.
You are close. We have pictures.
I have a picture of me in the robe
Wait, I've always wanted to do this. You'll see the picture right here.
right here.
I think stuff like this can be the most difficult to decipher because it is so straightforward. So I'm trying to find something that may not just be there. Like it's just, he came, they needed wine, they didn't have wine, took the water, turned it to wine, and then they had a party and like all was well.
No, yeah, it's not deep. It's not
I
that
don't
deep.
think it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be that deep, right?
It's not that deep.
It's not that
It's
deep.
not that deep. No, sometimes you're right, I think. That it's not that deep. Sometimes a marriage is not that deep. You go and do the stuff that you do today, and you raise your child and you cook dinner, and that's a day, and that's good in itself. And you're not going to find infinite meaning in this day, but in the accumulation of all those days, 1,000 or whatever they are, through 30,000 days later, he found the whole meaning of his life in the little things you did every day that were not that deep, but aggregated to be super deep. You don't have to quack like a pastor like I am right now in order to find the meaning of the gospel. It's literally right here. It's not that deep, dude. Just enjoy the party today.
Can you say party? Party.
I mean, a party. Honestly, what I take away from this is like it is a very simple story on its surface, but when I just read it, it feels so uncomfortable, right? When you really think about it, like 180 gallons of wine, Jesus making it, like it kind of goes against a lot of things we've established, and I think that just to me it comes back to when you read the gospel, when you read about Jesus, he's just constantly challenging, like what's going on here, what's the situation, how are we interpreting it. And honestly, I feel like that's my takeaway from this is it's just another way Jesus is like, are you really thinking about this in the right way? Like maybe it is just
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
maybe it is.
All right, last chug.
First
that
one to
it?
finish.
All right.
First one to
All
finish
right.
wins.
Say chug. Ready?
Done.
Chug, 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 chug,
Say
chug.
chug. Chug.
No, I can't chug red wine. I'm
It wasn't
so
easy.
sorry.
Well, obviously you have to rank them.
Duh.
Right. It would not be a gospel without ranking things. Okay, got it. Number 5.
Let's all say it together. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Barefoot.
There-
It tasted like a dirty foot.
Excuse me, how would you know? Or would that be on a different sermon?
Dave.
That's a whole other video, right? Okay, no. Okay, ratings just went way up, but that's not how we want to get them.
Wiki
Okay.
feed.
What's number
No free feet pics.
4?
No free
Cut
pic-
that.
Yeah, I am.
It's a
Censor it.
sermon with wine and feet pics.
And Snoop Dogg.
Let's keep
that
talking.
one.
Okay, what do
Okay.
we think is the 4?
The oak?
The
Quail-
first one, the quail
yeah,
oak.
the first
Yeah.
Oh,
What's number
Okay.
3?
Ooh. Okay.
probably octopus.
The
I
octopus.
really.
I agree.
Number 2?
Oh.
Don't do it. I know what you're gonna say. Don't do it.
No.
Don't
No,
do
but
it.
it is.
Danielle, you.
He will not fund the
me,
wine for your
it
wedding
is-
if he's number 2.
it is Snoop
Oh
Dogg.
my gosh, you're actually right. You're threatening me in a good way.
I
This
believe
is-
it's Snoop Dogg, Dan. What do you think?
I
I
didn't try
would
it,
maybe
but I
put
would
the
rate
red
it.
I want Snoop.
Zed, but
This is why I'm married to you.
Emmett, is it dead Zed red? Say yes.
Exactly.
Red, red, red. You have to overrule me. And that means Snoop Dogg is the number one in our hearts and in our lives.
Dogg!
Snoop Dogg, we got the Whizzle,
Oh,
Sizzle
double
sermon,
G's.
got the Gospizzle and
Gospizzle.
Gospizzle.
Bye, guys.
Look at my
Cheers.
shirt.